ladies and gentlemen, this video I'll show you a very clever solution to a missing, to a different cover for the air filter, or using a different air filter as well. So the problem that I was originally having is that the overhead valve engine, the original engine of this car was a flathead, which was a lower engine. It's a smaller height and a bit wider, actually quite a bit wider. And I ended up having to remove that engine, and I ended up putting the other version of the engine, so the same displacement, same engine, 195.6 cubic inch diameter, CID, cubic inch displacement, sorry. And the thing is that I'm still using the carburetor from the flathead, which is it's a Carter RBS carburetor. And the manual says that you would have to change to the it lists Carter RBS for the flathead, and it lists a different carburetor for the overhead valve engine. But being that they're the same displacement engine, and the timing is a little bit different, the overhead valve engine is set at 11 degrees, 8 or 11 degrees before top dead center for the timing. The flathead is set at 3 degrees before top dead, before top dead center for the timing. So, but that of course depends on the fuel that you're using. So it is kind of variable. It's not, it's not something that's there 100%. You can't change it. But I'm just saying that because this might not apply to you if you're using a different carburetor, which is a Holley 1909 or 1904, 1908, or 1920, which are all supposed to be compatible. There are some Ford carburetors which should be compatible. Basically, if it's the same engine, you can use it. It's the same displacement. If it's anything different, then you can't. But anyways, so with the engine being higher, taller, I can't close the hood now because it's hitting the carburetor rod, and of course I didn't have the correct air filter for it. So the original air filter would have probably been this one here, and as you can see, it's quite wide and it's not very tall at all. I'm going to say, here, let's be specific. It's 3 inches tall, 6.5 inches outer diameter, 4 inches inner diameter, so therefore 1.25 inch width here. So I don't know if the manual also talks about an oil-filled air filter, which I would very much prefer. And I've seen some other cars with bigger air filters. I don't know if that's how they would have come with the factory, from the factory, if that was an option or something like that. But anyways, seeing that I did not have this air filter, I'm going to say it's not good anymore. It might be alright, I'm not sure, but seeing that it's kind of ugly and rusted, I decided to try to get a new one. But they were very expensive locally, and that was all before I heard about Rock Auto, Rock Auto, and I think in Rock Auto it's about $6 or $8, so it's not that bad. But if you have to buy it by itself, then you have to pay another $10 or $12 for shipping, which then plus tax, it'll end up going to like $30. So I'm sorry if I don't want to pay $30 for a piece of paper. Okay, so, but for the time being, I just want to get by. I'm just gonna use this pan here. It's just a pan cover uh, from an old pans I got somewhere, stainless steel. But we're actually gonna use this on this other filter. So this other filter I got from a local store. It was also expensive, like $20. But the problem is it's a bit narrower. It's, well, quite a bit narrower, and so that the top cover of the plate that was on it, it'll just go through it. It won't hold the filter. So that's what I'm doing here. The filter that I was using afterwards was just whatever I could get at the local store, which is a bit narrower but a bit smaller in diameter, but twice as high. It's the diameter for you guys to see. And it's supposed to be Fram CA30-924. So I just had to use a longer rod here on the carburetor, threaded rod, and I was able to use that on the flathead without a problem. But now it's too high, so that's what we're doing. I just thought it was really creative that, because I had this pan and pan cover just laying around, and it happens to be the exact perfect fit on the filter. So I just thought it was kind of interesting. There you go. Just gonna remove the knob here, plastic knob. Chuck that. Get the flathead, move through. Whenever you're, if you ever have the air filter off, it's very important that you cover it with something. Cover the carburetor with something. All it takes is a little bit of sand or dirt to get inside that, and then you turn the engine on and it goes to the cylinders and possibly ruins the cylinder walls with the cylinder wall. Yes. So that's why I have this rag here, this cover. Give me 1 second while I get this drilling. Drill press. Put some grease on the drill bit. I don't know if you guys are watching or not. Eventually I'll get a nice oil bath air filter, but for now grab the money one more time. I'm just going to use the free pan. I think it looks nice as well. Stainless steel, so to me it looks all right. little bit of grease, tip, drill bit, lubricate it. Helps it last longer. Get this other filter, put it in like that, clean our pan filter a little bit, make sure there's no sand or dirt stuff to go in and screw up the engine. Nut over there, and for a female rod. We just either have to lower it a bit. So you can see this is sticking out quite a bit. That's because I have, like I said, a threaded nut and then a threaded rod, 1/4 inch 20 on here, so that I could have used that bigger filter, that taller filter there. We're switching back to what the original one would have been. So from the carburetor, it would have only gone up to about there. Feels good. Got a nice stainless steel washer, so that it can hide it. Always just has to just unbelievable. Unbelievable. Alright, never mind. Just put this for the moment. And here is a 16, yes. There's tighten the lock and all. Otherwise you'll squash the filter. That's not good. Okay, so I'll just get the bolt cutters, cut off the excess rod there. Put your eyes. Like something bad happened. Looks like the rod just fell off. Is that it? More space. There's not enough space there. Right, looks like a little bit of a problem. Screw just fell off. The thread rod just fell off because there wasn't enough threads holding it. So I have to just remove the threaded nut. Just go back to was exactly what the original nut. It's too short. Creativity using a pan there for the air filter. I was lucky enough that it fit there perfect. Now it's just a matter of time of putting it back on and figuring out which bolt, which nuts I need there.